Hello and welcome to episode 97 of the Gamers of the Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host Darren Whittam, and joining me this week is the other spark on the pod, the voice of positivity and reason in the storm of gaming news, is Antony Chesson.
Hello sir, how you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at all. It's a little bit cooler today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last week when we were podding, it was so hot, it was so warm, but it's a little bit cooler in the UK this week.
Yeah, I think we were very good to brave through the heat. But yeah, it is a lot cooler. It's nice.
Yes, it's lovely. It's lovely. This is how though it's quite it's a nice, it's a little bit rainy, but it's nice. It's good. It's good. So how are you, sir? How's your week been?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking, sir. How's my week been? It's been okay. Been enjoying the weather. Making more pizzas with my new uni oven. So I've been knocking pizzas out quite a rate. Made more pizzas than I've ever made pizzas. Made more pizzas in the last week than I've ever made in my entire life.
You should do like Blackpool Deliveroo. Just send Claire out and Sam out on a bike delivering.
Yeah, a rickshaw.
Oh, that would be even better. That would be so cool.
I've been thinking. I could house the uni in the back of the rickshaw. I was thinking of that. The way that you can just knock them out. I was thinking I could just go to, I don't know. Sam's having a summer fair, and I thought when I got a bit better, I could go and try and raise money for the school. If people were interested in buying pizzas, do something like that.
What a great idea! That's so cool. You could just you can make them kind of like nice and kind of so you just cut them twice. Get a roller. Have you got one? Have you got a pizza cutter?
Yeah.
Oh, wicked! So you just cut them twice, put them on like a nice bit of like parchment or something like that, and just hand them out like that. You could make
wow.
You could
make even more money doing that. I was thinking about handing him a whole pizza, but yeah, I never thought of selling it by the quarter. Yeah, even better. So yeah, I could do something like that. It's really good. And as long as you've got the wood pellets and the ingredients, you can just go forever because it just burns the wood. It's really good. What else have we doing? Oh, I had a thought. The way that I like to hold my Switch Joy-Cons.
Yes.
One in each hand in that sort of that two-handed way, so I can sort of like laze about and stuff. Well, I thought of a good name for it. Dual-Con. That's my name for it. I'm going to use the Joy-Cons in the Dual-Con configuration.
Nice.
It might be an official term. I haven't come across it. But I thought, what can you call it? I thought Dual-Con. That's what I'm going to call it. When I'm in that position, I'm dual-conning, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Relaxed conning.
yeah, lazy conning. Elegant conning, we could say.
Elegant, yes, that's it. We decided last week not to use the word lazy.
No, we're not, because we're just seekers of solutions. It's not lazy, it's just inventing elegance. Wherever we can. It's just smart. I got an email from the guys at Play Expo. There's another gaming exhibition going on at Blackpool. This is a different one than the one that I did last, a few months ago.
Yes.
I think I went to this last year and it was pretty good. So I thought I'd mention it. It's on the 15th to the 16th of July this year.
Not far.
Yeah, not far away. A month and change? Not even any change. Not even any change. About 3 weeks away.
Yes.
And it's a place called North Olympia Exhibition Centre in Blackpool, which is pretty massive. And yeah, it sounds pretty good. They're going to have System 3 there. They're going to have some guys from Ocean Software there from back in the day. They're going to have a guy talking about the ZX Spectrum. So they're going to have a lot of retro stuff. They've got the Pac-Man World Record holder. He's going to attempt to set a new Pac-Man World Record on the 20th anniversary Pac-Man arcade machine, which is a nice machine. Loads of indie games, loads of arcade games as usual. They've got a sit-down outrun and a sit-down afterburner to have a go on. So those are good arcade games to have a go on, aren't they? Oh. And loads of pinball tables and retro gaming and what have you. And then they've always got they have a massive hall. If it's still similar, they have a massive hall with all that stuff in it, and then you go through a sort of a joining corridor, and then they have another massive hall, just full of merch, which is great. I love looking at all this stuff. And then they also have board games and things there. So if any listeners are interested, it's something to look forward to, and it's not far away.
That's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. So I thought I'd mention that as I got a little email because I'd forgotten about it. I might go. I'll probably go. May as well. It's right here. It's on my doorstep. What else? I've got a few things to tell you. Oh, yeah, we had a chat about this. I've been feeling a bit lost in the wake of no new sort of amazing AAA blockbuster games. We've been so spoiled since the start of the year, since say February, or whatever. It's sort of once I've finished them all, which I sort of have. And don't get me wrong, I've still got Zelda to play and stuff, but it was kind of just, I don't know, sort of hitting that wall and thinking, right, what are we going to play next? It's like, oh, sugar, there isn't anything for me personally until probably, I know you're interested in Splatoon 2. I think the first one for me is going to be the new Uncharted standalone DLC, Lost Legacy. And then
that's the end of August, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And then Shadow of War. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, that. I'm so used to just being able to jump from one to the other. I was like, oh no, reality call. So I've been a bit stuck, which hasn't happened for a while. So I've been a bit lonely gaming wise, and I got that sort of, well, not really desperate, but I sort of didn't know what to do. So I started learning a bit of gaming piano, using a website and YouTube clips from a website called smartgamepiano.com, and it's fantastic. These guys on smartgamepiano.com have just got loads of different gaming themes, and they teach you how to play them in a really novel way. Where they've got the camera, they film it from above their hands on the piano keys, so you can see exactly what they're doing, and the notes drop down on say 1/3 of the screen is the hands on the piano keys, plenty for you to see, and then 2/3 of the screen shows the notes drop down a little bit like a rhythm action game. But really just for information. And then the teacher who's playing talks you through it as well. So I thought, I've always wanted to learn how to play Animal Crossing title theme from the original game. So I started trying to learn it, use it. I just thought, I'll just have a go and see if it works. And you know something, it's a really effective method. It's really good. So I've been enjoying that. I did try to do some of the others. I've learned a little bit of this Animal Crossing tune now. I need to speed up and stuff, but it's there, it's locked in. Sort of, I think I'm halfway through the tune, and then I thought, oh, what else? I thought, now I can do that. I thought, what else is there? And I went through the list, and there's like the Halo main theme. There's Ares theme from Final Fantasy VII, which is one of my favourite tunes of all time. They've got the Zelda title screen, loads of Zelda tunes, but they've got the Zelda title screen music. They've got Minecraft tunes. So many tunes that I love. And I was like, wow. So I started trying to learn, I think it was the Zelda opening from Ocarina of Time. You know, that kind of doon as he rides the horse, you know.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, wow, that one chord, or whatever, it's not really, it's kind of a rolling chord or something, but it used so many fingers. I was like, oh no! And as I was concentrating on that, I could feel the Animal Crossing information leaving my mind. So I was like, stop! So I think I'm going to concentrate just on one.
Just focus on one. Focus on one level, one stage.
And then move to another one. But I'm not sure really how it works, because it seems to be that there's loads of them on YouTube, but you can also subscribe to the website, and it sort of says you've got, and then I think you get extra stuff. And it's not much. I don't know whether I'm going to subscribe or not. I just want to learn Animal Crossing, but it's something that I've always wanted to do since getting a piano. I'm no good on the piano. I just got a piano because I wanted one, because I wanted to play. You know, I would love to play, and it's there. And I thought, wow, I'm really going to try this. And when I started playing it, Anthony, it sounded like I'm playing it, which is amazing. Ultra slow, though.
Yes.
Yes. Sort of thing. So that's been really fun. That sort of helped me a little way through the lull. The lull after.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So what have you been up to?
Well, kind of, I guess not much, because at the moment I've got more DIY happening at my house. Or not DIY, actually, I'm not doing it. I'm just, because we're having our roof replaced. Storm Doris that hit the UK took off some tiles on our roof. So we've got kind of builders and kind of roofers kind of in you know, kind of around, and kind of we ended up having a lot of work to do at the weekend that we weren't expecting. So the roofers kind of made a bit of a mess. So I ended up getting all my Lego out of the eaves, and it was all covered. So I had to kind of clean all that, all my Star Wars board games, all of that sort of stuff. You know, I had to get all of that out, and we ended up spending a lot of time. So my gaming has kind of been a little bit restricted. But one thing I did do on Sunday morning, kind of a fresh, it's kind of a new out on Ultra HD Blu-ray, is the Lego Batman movie. So the Lego Batman movie came out this week. I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, kind of on iTunes, but this was the 4K HDR version.
The proper version.
the proper version, the as it should be version. So I think it was like a week behind the digital versions and things like that. So this was the kind of I think it came out the same day as the Blu-ray as well. But you know what it's like at the moment with kind of iTunes, where the kind of iTunes version and the digital version seems to come out a week or so before the other versions. So that kind of came out. So on Sunday, I was like, right, I woke up early, because the sun's still kind of blaring through the windows. So I woke up early and I started, so I jumped into it. And I thought, I'm just going to put my headphones on and I'm just going to sit and watch this. I got a cup of coffee, got some Oreos. I'm like, I'm sorted. I'm comfy. And I just sat and watched it. And it was a really good start to the day. It put me in a really good mood because it's if you've seen the Lego movie, it's very much that, but with Batman, and as a bat nerd, I will continue using that phrase, as a bat nerd, it was absolutely fantastic because there was lots of nods to previous Batman movies, there was lots of nods just to the kind of Batman lore, and it was just, and it looks absolutely stunning. It looks fantastic on the 4K HDR. Really does kind of pop, and everything. The Lego minifigs just look absolutely amazing on screen. And I was just like, so the first part of the movie, I'm just sitting there like going, wow, this is amazing. Of course, it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock on the morning on Sunday, so I'm saying all this to myself, like a madman down in the movie room. But it's absolutely superb, and I really enjoyed it. It's a good movie.
Brilliant. I know a few friends that have seen it. I haven't seen it yet, but I know a few friends that have seen it, and they say they really loved it, and not just because their kids loved it. They said they loved it. It's one of those that works on two levels. And they said there was a lot of humour in there that was for the adults as well. But they said it was really great. I've had a few recommendations to see it, and I'm glad it pops. I mean, it's a good candidate, isn't it, for sort of HDR 4K, because I'm presuming there's a lot of big primary colours in there. All bright and shiny and Lego-y. So yeah, I bet that's one to watch, definitely. Especially in its in the form that they expected. That's like the director's choice version.
Absolutely, there are some big explosions. There's some really kind of good, cool bits that you really do just sit there and go, wow, it really does just kind of, it's a treat for the eyes. And that's one of the things that, and I'm glad that still happens for me with 4K. Obviously, with the Xbox One X coming soon, we're going to get a lot more 4K gaming, but I'm glad that my eyes haven't got used to it yet. I'm glad that it's not just a norm, but it's absolutely stunning. I mean, I'm watching House of Cards Season 5 at the moment, so the brand new House of Cards. I'm watching that, and that's just 4K. It's not just 4K. That's 4K. It's not HDR.
Is it not?
No. Which is quite surprising actually, because Iron Fist, which was from Marvel, that's also on Netflix, and that was HDR, as well as Marco Polo as well. So there is some HDR stuff that's on the streaming and kind of download. But House of Cards looks fantastic. The opening credits in 4K is just, I love that. It's one of the credits I don't skip or don't fast forward, because I just really enjoy it. It's a very kind of a slow building song, and it just has some real kind of like some stunning visuals.
Settles you into the mood.
It does indeed. And do you know what? I was having a chat with Nicola just the other day. I was like, why do TV programs kind of have credits? What's the point of them, especially on Netflix? And then she said that. She goes, it kind of settles you in. It kind of gets you ready, especially with a lot of programs where they have kind of a little bit before, don't they? They have a little bit before, and then they kind of jump into the credits.
Yeah.
And it just does. It just kind of settles you down. Something quality is coming when you hear the House of Cards theme tune.
It's an opportunity, isn't it, to give you a little preview or an idea of the calibre of the show. They had a think. They go, right, this art style, this music, this is going to set the scene. There you go. Yeah, that's what it's all about. But you're right. They could just. It wouldn't. I say they could just cut it out. Is it just us because we're used to it? Would it be weird? If it just started.
Well, I mean,
like US TV, because they'll have the credits, then they'll have an advert break, and then it'll just start. You're like, whoa.
It just goes straight in. Well, actually, like in the US, that's kind of one of the reasons why you have the bit at the end with the credits, because most of those TV shows, they have an advert before the end credits, and then it finishes like one program, and then it'll just go instantly into another. I remember being in the US once, the first time I kind of was watching US TV, and I think Frasier was on, and I was watching Frasier, and then it just rolled in. There was adverts before the credits. I was like, this is bonkers, and then it just rolled into the next one, because obviously they want to keep you vested, don't they? They want to keep you interested.
Yeah. I think for me it was a Simpsons marathon on. It was like an end of season Simpson thing that was on US TV, and that was like one of the first times. Probably the first time I'd watched it. It was when I was at E3 years and years ago. And me and my buddy were in our hotel room, and we were getting over the jet lag and stuff, so we put the TV in, and that was on. But it was so bizarre the way the credits worked. You know, it was like the adverts, then credits, then
straight in,
yeah. But then you get the start credits of The Simpsons, and then there'd be another adverts. It's like, a lot more adverts than we get.
Exactly.
That's saying something. I mean, it might have changed now. I doubt it has, but
oh no. I mean, like I say, I was there last year, and it's exactly the same. You know, it is just, and that's the problem. You know, that's the good thing about Netflix and about that, because when you get an hour long show, A, it's an hour long, and B, it's not written with that in mind. You know, the Netflix shows are not written for build up, something to keep you coming back after the ads. You know, build up. That's, if you look at TV shows with ads, that's how they're kind of it's almost formulaic how they are. It's like, right, we'll leave you on a cliffhanger because we've got to go to the adverts here, and you know, where you look at HBO shows and you look at Netflix and Amazon shows, they don't. There's no adverts in any of those. So HBO doesn't have adverts during the TV show. So it's it's perfect.
So they build to the climax at the end of the hour instead of trying to have a mini 15-minute sort of mini cliffhanger every 15 minutes.
Exactly. Instead of forcing the writer to kind of to a prescribed beat.
Yeah.
It's a bit like jazz. HBO is like jazz. I mean, I must admit, the only credits, kind of with HBO, the only credits I do fast forward now is Game of Thrones. I watched the first one of the new season, and then after that, it just goes on for too long.
Wow, it won awards, that credit sequence.
It's amazing. You know, it's absolutely amazing. But when you've watched it, what season are we on now? What, season 7?
7's coming up to 60 times.
Yeah. So when you've watched it 6, then some, you know, it gets a bit jarring. But, you know, it's always good to watch it at the start of a season, because it does change, doesn't it?
Yeah, it shows, because the places that it goes to on the map are the places that are going to be relevant in that particular episode.
Yes.
So it gives you a little hint, doesn't it? It's like, oh, we'll be at Winterfell in this one. Oh, we haven't been over the wall for a while. Let's go and have a look there. We're going to go to Bravos.
You sound like it's like Rainbow or something.
Yeah. What a parallel to make with Game of Thrones.
Let's go over there.
Let's go over to Bravos and see Tyrion.
And speaking of Game of Thrones, we're 3 weeks and change away from the new Game of Thrones.
Hooray, which means I'm about 13 weeks away from watching it.
Oh, yes, because you wait to the end, don't you?
Yeah, I can't be doing none of this waiting business. It does my head in, so I'll just wait and then consume, and I'll enjoy. Oh, wow. I reckon I couldn't watch them all. I couldn't watch 8 episodes in 2 weeks, I don't think. Yeah, I probably could. Right. So I probably could. So I'll have to wait 9, not the full 10, probably not the 9th week. I think what we did last time was we did it round about as soon as episode 9 aired, started watching them. And then we finished. We sort of watched 1 or 2 each night, depending on how we were fixed. And it ended up that on the last night, we sort of finished episode 9 and 10 was going to show, and it was like, yay! I was well timed, and it was nice. And it was such a good series as well. Wow. I was thinking of a few things with Game of Thrones. First of all, was to watch them all, which I probably haven't got time for now, because it's like that'd be amazing to watch just all 60. One a night for 60 days. And the other thing was to at least, I think maybe, because it sort of does blur. I mean, I've read all the books. Maybe that's part of it why it gets confusing. Like, the whole thing, and because it's been a few years now, they start to forget, and I haven't watched them twice. So I might have to do a YouTube, Game of Thrones recap or something like that, just to get all the salient points straight in my head before starting watching it again.
Yes. Absolutely, and don't forget that this season, season 7. So we've got 2 more seasons left, and season 7 is shorter, isn't it? I think it's only like 6 episodes or something like that.
I think they're doing a 6 and 6, a bit like they did with Breaking Bad.
Yeah, so it's either 6 or 7 episodes for this season, so you'll be able to watch it kind of quicker. But I was talking just about that today in the office. We were talking about kind of Game of Thrones, and I reckon what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, and because it's been years since I watched the first season, and sit down and kind of watch from season 1 all the way through to the new season next year. So I think I'll just kind of, because that will be the last season, I will just have a complete recap when we've got a release date. Then I'll just kind of go through it.
Wow! So you're going to watch these new ones first, and then in preparation for the final, you're going to do that. Then is that right?
Yeah. I'll do 1 to so next year when we get season 8, I will do 1 to 7. And I'll make sure that I finish the season 7 the week before the season 8 airs. Yeah,
67 nights of it. So 67 nights before, or if you're going to do stuff, let's let's ignore the weekends. It's quite a lot, isn't it?
It really is.
It's going to give you half a year of viewing. To as you bide the time to the next series, you can just watch all them.
You could definitely watch 2 a night, but I think
it's hard not to.
I think James and his good lady wife did that. I think they did that when they kind of not. I think they were kind of they got into Game of Thrones later, and I'm sure it was that they watched, and they kind of did that. They were watching like 1 or 2 a night, and it's very easy because, like I say, at the moment watching House of Cards, like we'll finish one, and I'll look at Nick and I'm like, oh, can we watch another one? And we just kind of end up sitting there and kind of watch another one. We've burnt through 4 seasons of the Goldbergs, slightly different, but 4 seasons of the Goldbergs. We've burnt through that in just a couple of months, and that was absolutely just amazing TV. That was one of my favourite sitcoms of recent years. Now, it's just an amazing program. But we've now got to the end of that, and we were sad.
Yeah, something's missing now.
Exactly. It was really funny. We watched the episode 24 of season 4 the other night, and we went straight back to season 1 and watched episode 2 again. And it was just like, and it was really cool to see how they've grown up over the 4 years. But that's such an amazing program. But enough about that. Let's talk about games. That's what we're here to talk about. Let's talk about games. And what have you been playing this week, Daz?
Well, I say that there's nothing, but there is one big game actually. So we are still lucky, and that's NES Machina. And I've been playing that. I'm very, very lucky to be playing it. I say I'm lucky to be playing it because Housemarque very gallantly sent me a code. It was for Steam, which was a shame, but beggars can't be choosers, can they?
Send it back. I really want it on PlayStation 4 Pro.
I know. Honestly, I played with that idea for a few seconds, and I thought, what can you do? But I just thought I'd count myself lucky that I got a PC that I could play it on. So I've been playing it on PC.
So what is NES Machina?
NES Machina is it's the latest game from Housemarque. Housemarque are the guys that you may know from titles such as Super Stardust HD, way back on the PS3. Other titles before, they've been around for a while. They've been around in one developer or another since 1993, when they were called Bloodhouse. Then they were Terramark in 94, and then they became Housemarque in 1996 with Super Stardust, their first iteration, but that was on DOS, believe it or not. But then I found out about them. Must have been around Super Stardust HD in 2007 on PlayStation 3, and they also did Resogun, Dead Nation, and now they're doing NES Machina. I love Super Stardust with a passion. I love twin-stick shooters. I loved Super Stardust. I absolutely love Resogun. Like, unbelievably. I love Resogun. I didn't like Alienation, though. I had to go. I think it was released recently as one of the PS Plus games, so I had to go. And I thought, mate, I must have missed something here. There's got to be but I don't know what it was, but I didn't like that as much as the others. And now there's NES Machina. And what NES Machina is, it's kind of... in a way, it's kind of a fusion of Resogun and Super Stardust HD, but maybe more accurately, you could call it as well as a fusion of them, you could call it a love letter to Robotron 2084 from the early 80s, and you can you can't blame them for their inspiration here. Now, Resogun, you could say, was inspired by Defender, and I think it was. And you could also say that Alienation had a bit of Robotron inspiration in there. And you could we all knew for all this time, really, that Housemarque have been great fans of the great Eugene Jarvis, who is the creator of Defender and Robotron. Now, what they did with Nex Machina is they hooked up with Eugene Jarvis and collaborated with him to develop this new game. So you sort of got the guys that are making the sort of, in my opinion, some of the best Twitch shooters of the current day, inspired from the retro days, and such great sort of games inspired from there that they've made. And then they've got in touch with him and decided to get a bit of his input for Nex Machina. So they've worked together. I don't know how much they worked together, but they definitely got, chatted with him and collaborated with him to create this game. So this game it's a top-down game. Unlike Super Stardust or Resogun, you're not in a spaceship. You're sort of a super soldier type guy. You come rocketing into the level on a bike. Then you jump. You sort of
awesome.
you sort of crash land onto an area, into an arena, a Robotron type arena, if you like. And then the enemies just start attacking you, and you play with the typical twin stick shooter controls. And those controls, man, are just so tight. Move around with the left stick, shoot with the right. You get power-ups. You get swarmed by enemies. You've got a dash on the left trigger, a bit like Resogun, so you can sort of boost through the baddies. You don't have You don't have smart bombs like you did on Resogun or Super Stardust on this one. But what you do is you get different pickups as you play. And so you pick up power-ups, and then they're activated with the right trigger, and they're quite varied. You do get a smart bomb, but it doesn't kill everything on the screen. It makes like a... Do you remember the Halo grenade that you used to throw down? It was like a shield, like a hexagonal shield around you. It looks sort of like that, so it'll take everything within a fairly small radius out, but it's pretty powerful. You get things like a laser that's sort of slow to move, and you can hold the button, and for a limited amount of time you can sort of wipe the screen free of baddies with that. You get a rocket launcher, which is a long-distance missile. You get a power shot, which takes some time to charge up, but then you can fire it through the swarms of neon enemies that are attacking you. And you also get a sword. And the sword, I'm not very good with the sword because it's quite close range. So I think that's sort of a last-ditch thing. If I get the sword, I don't really use it much. It's more of shoot and boost through them to a safe place. Shoot, boost through them. They've got some things from Resogun in here. You collect humans. The humans are green, so you can see them, and you get little sort of a little dotted line towards the humans that you need to save. So they've kept that aspect in from Resogun.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
And they've kept the voice actress from Resogun as well. Sort of human saved and all that sort of stuff, and the power ups. They're all voice based. Sure. If it's not her, it's a very good likeness of her. So that sort of makes you feel at home as well. And the gameplay, the flow of it is just so fantastic. What you do, you're on a level. You've got to collect all the humans if you can, kill all the baddies without dying. It's very simple in its aims, but it takes a while to master it and do it well. Once you've cleared the level, instead of sort of a new level, that one closing, going to a black screen and another one happening, you just sort of move to the next area of the map in sort of a really seamless but cool way. So you could just sort of boost over to say another section that you couldn't reach, as if you just warp over. But they're all connected. They're all connected, all these little areas. But if you finish one area, then you sort of get boosted to another one, but it's connected on in the same planet or whatever. And sometimes it even changes from top down to sort of behind your character, just occasionally, just to shake it up a little bit. But it still works really well. And yeah, it's a really good game. It's a really, really good game. If you love, like me, if you love arcade, Twitch shooters, if you like a twin stick shooter, then you're going to want to be getting this, because it's absolutely fantastic. It's another one of those games that I think it's easier to get to grips with than Resogun was, because there was quite a lot going on in Resogun, and it took me a little while to understand about shooting the waves of the baddies to unlock the human out of the gate to then pick up the human and get him back. Maybe I'm just silly, but it took me a while to understand that mechanic was necessary. In this one, you just instantly sort of know what you're doing. which is lucky because it doesn't really give you any handheld holding at all, not on the PC version anyway. You're just in there and you just learn it as you go. But it's something else, man. It's one of them games that, within 5 minutes of playing it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And just enjoying it. I haven't completed it yet. But it lets you continue as well. I think you can maybe continue as many times as you want. And you can complete it. And I think there's something like 6 worlds in there. And there's local co-op as well in there. And there's some different modes. There's one mode where you can get in-game currency to sort of unlock different aesthetic effects. So there's a few different modes. I've just been playing the arcade mode mainly. A little look at the other stuff, but mainly I'm just doing the arcade mode. And what it is, like with the other Housemarque games that I've played, first of all, I want to complete the level. Yes. But that's not the end of it. Once you've done the level or done all the levels, that's where the challenge just starts, because then you look at the leaderboards and realise that you're just a minnow. And it's how to do the levels with the maximum score, keeping that multiplier up, saving all the humans, where are all the secret humans, and not dying. And that pressure that stacks. As the multiplier builds, the pressure stacks up. And I just love that kind of game. And it's kind of a perfect fusion. And it's really, really nice. And this is a point I wanted to make. I don't think this game supports HDR on PC. I think it does on PS4.
Yes.
It's only on PS4 and PC, as far as I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
But the strange thing was, right, so I fired up my PC to play it, and I was playing it, and I was like, my goodness me, this is so amazing. And I sort of died, and the screen just gets... It's a voxel-based game, so as things get destroyed, there's just millions of particles. Like Resogun. If you know Resogun, there's... I don't know if you can get more particles than that, but the screen is just full of explosions. And when you die, the screen just fills up with like pink and white particles everywhere, laser beams going everywhere. And I tell you, man, I was like, my eyes are going to burn out here. I can't believe how open it is. My eyes are. It felt like they were going to melt. It was that bright. And I thought, this is so bright. This is like it's HDR. And I was like, I didn't think I got HDR on my PC. So I reached down from my remote control, checked my TV, and my TV had gone into HDR mode.
Wow.
And I was like, what's this? I was like, well, that's why I'm going blind with this brightness. It was like, I mean, in a good way, in the best way that you can go blind with brightness.
Voxels burning on your retina.
Yeah, dripping down my cheeks. And I checked it, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, this is weird. So I had a quick look online, and from what I could gather, the game NES Machina doesn't yet support HDR on PC, though I think they're going to do an update for it.
Right.
And I was like really confused. So then I went into my graphics settings, and I noticed that in my Windows 10 properties, I had a new thing, a new option, HDR mode, and it was switched it on.
Oh wow!
And I was like, oh wow! And apparently this was something that came with I just do my updates, and I don't really read about my PC stuff anymore that much. The recent update, there was an anniversary update for Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realise, but it must have been included. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm thinking it must be included in that.
Wow.
So I got this HDR mode, and whether or not the game supports it, when I flick that switch and play that game, my goodness me. I mean, it might be that it's not utilising it correctly or something like that, and when they give the update, it'll utilise it a little bit better, and maybe it won't be as bright. But after switching it off, even if it is just too bright, I think it's better with it on, so I've just got my TV just pumping out just like the sun as I play this game. And it's highly enjoyable, twitch shooty, arcadey fusion of retro and now, and it's really good. It's another stunning game from Housemarque. I love it. I think my favourite one so far is Resogun.
Right.
It's too early for me to say whether this for me would take over Resogun, because I put a lot of time into Resogun, but time will tell. And when I said before that there's no massive games, I kind of meant these games that would be like a 14-hour adventure or a 100-hour adventure like Persona.
Yes.
But you know what? Even though you can play a game of this in 5 minutes, or if you did a whole world, you'd probably be on it for say half an hour or so, maybe less or more, depending. It's funny because a game like this, actually, you could end up over years. You could end up putting hundreds of hours into.
Yes.
Like Spelunky, like Stardust, like all those games that you just because you enjoy, and because they never end. You know, like Persona ends, Horizon Zero Dawn ends, Link ends. Lots of games end, don't they? And you do have the choice to go back, but I don't think any of them have the incentive to go back, like arcade games with a high score. You know, so
yeah,
so
absolutely. It is all, and you know, the great thing about the leaderboard for NES Machina is that that's cross like PC and console as well, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, demon.
Yeah, so it's not cross-play, obviously, because there's no multiplayer, but the leaderboards are.
Oh, that's good to know. Oh, thanks for that. I didn't know, because I was thinking I was just up against the PC guys, but it's good to know I'm up against the PlayStation guys as well. I bet you can. I wonder if you can filter the list.
Yeah, maybe. So, are you playing it with your Xbox controller on your PC, or are you playing it with your PlayStation controller?
Xbox controller.
Well, that's quite cool. How does that feel?
It feels great. Absolutely great. It certainly feels greater than the default options I was given, which was keyboard. It was like what was it? WASD.
You've got to be kidding me!
And I was like, what? With this tiny keyboard I've got on my knee, and I was like, it's got to work with a pad, and it does. And it does.
Wow.
So it's really cool.
So it must feel weird playing a Housemarque game with an Xbox controller, because it's like typically PlayStation.
For me, it feels weird playing a Housemarque game on a PC.
Yeah.
Never mind then throwing an Xbox controller into the mix. But yeah, it's really good. Oh, and I'm playing it in 4K 60 frames.
Nice. So it's what, $15.99, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Kind of around that. So not too bad. Kind of worthwhile. So it's worthwhile jumping in.
It's not too much money. There's many worse games for the same price you could get, and I imagine you know, if you're a fan of this kind of game, you're just going to get hours and hours and hours out of it because. Your first task is just understanding, you know, what you're doing. That doesn't take too long, admittedly. Next task is let's complete the game, but then let's complete the game with finesse, and then let's complete the game. Let's start trying to get on that scoreboard.
Blindfolded.
Yeah. Let's do it with scoreboard. Let's do it on a dance mat. Bit of trivia about Eugene Jarvis. I found on Wikipedia is the only video game designer to have his work featured on a US postage stamp.
Oh, right.
There you go. There's a stamp of two 80s era children playing Defender on a video game stamp for Celebrate the Century.
Wow. I loved Defender as a kid.
I love Defender. I love Drop Zone on my Commodore 64, which is a massive copy of Defender. I don't know. I'd love to know what Eugene thought of Drop Zone. He might like it as a tribute, or he might hate it as a copy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever played it. I mean, I used to play, maybe I did. I mean, it all depends if Drop Zone was on the Spectrum, because I wasn't a Commodore kid, I was a Spectrum, so maybe we got Defender on the Spectrum. I don't know, but I remember spending a lot of money in arcades playing Defender. And
Defender was so hard.
It was so good, but it was just so hard. There was that kind of, especially when you got to the end of the level, then you had to get out, didn't you? You had to go the other way, and that's what I always loved about it. That you were going kind of left to right, and then you got to, and then you had to go the other way. You had to go right to left, and it just felt so amazing back then. Yeah,
I think what I didn't like was that, if I remember correctly, there was no joystick. You did the left and right with two buttons. Do you remember?
No, I think I got. I'm sure there was a. Maybe there wasn't, I don't know, but yeah, I always remember just loving it as much at home as I did in the arcade, and it
must have been a joystick because you moved up and down as well as left and right, didn't you?
Yeah, it must have
been a joystick. I don't know where they got that from. Maybe some arcade version of Scramble or something. I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, I was so poor at it. I couldn't play it because I didn't have that much money. I'd take £1 to the arcade, 10p a go. Defender, I was dead in like seconds.
Yeah.
So I played Nemesis instead, which was, it was a later game, but that's when I went to the arcade. Nemesis was already there.
So 1983 on the ZX Spectrum, ZX Defender came out.
Wow.
Just a quick Google, and I'm looking at that now, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to play that so much. So maybe I should play NES Machina instead.
Yeah. Well, what you could do, you could have a quick go of ZX Defender, and then you could really appreciate where we've come.
Yes.
Where we've come from.
Imagine doing that. Imagine jumping from Defender to NES Machina. That would just be... I might try that. I might try and find how I can do that.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to now. I didn't realise, but I forgot, in fact, because I have seen this. But Housemarque are working on another game called Matterfall.
Right.
And that's due out if things don't slip, mid-August time.
Oh, okay.
So they're working on another game. And that looks really good as well. So if anybody likes the Housemarque games and the Housemarque pedigree, might be worth just having a little look at their Matterfall website. It looks really good.
Should we stick a link in the show notes?
Yeah, we can do. We haven't really seen much since, I think, E3 2015.
All right, okay.
So that was when it was revealed. But I checked out the website and stuff, and it said August. I was thinking, wow, so that Housemarque are working on 2 games, or were working on 2 games. So yeah, I love Housemarque games. They always seem to sort of scratch an itch. Apart from Alienation, for me, that's just the exception that proves the rule, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. That's it. Next Machina is the game I'm playing, and I'll probably be playing for years. Well, I was going to say until the next Housemarque game comes out. If it comes out in August, that won't really be years, but
just a couple of months.
But the thing is with their games, like Resogun as an example, I played Resogun on release and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I didn't, because I didn't get a PS4 on release and it was a launch title. But when I got my PS4, I got Resogun. Mm-hmm. And I had to buy it because it was free for everybody that got a launched PS4, and I had to buy it. But that's fine. I bought it, and I absolutely loved it, and played it for ages, and then sort of forgot about it. Just got distracted. And then recently, a few months ago, I got completely hooked on it again.
Right.
And there was no diminishment in my enjoyment. In fact, I loved it more. Exactly the same as I love Spelunky. Yeah.
So was that after when it got its 4K HDR
patch? That was the hook.
Went back in.
That was it. That was the hook. And then I went in, and then I got completely obsessed with the scoreboards again, more so than I ever did before. And I got better than I ever was, but still not good enough to get in anywhere near the top. But for me, I was getting better and better and loving it. And now I've gone, stopped playing it again. But it's just I love that game, and I love this game. So good games, in a nutshell. Hooray for Housemarque. That's my
Excellent.
Clap.
Superb. Excellent. For me, I'm still playing Lego City Uncovered, so I'm playing that. I had a couple of commutes and stuff, so I've been playing that on the Switch. Still enjoying that. It's kind of, the world is opening up now. You're going to different places. It's kind of a Lego GTA, if you will. There's this big world where you can go off and do side missions, or you can just kind of stick to the kind of main missions, and it goes. So far, I've been to a prison, which was very Shawshank Redemption. They kept kind of putting in Shawshank Redemption with kind of little nods, and other locations that have kind of just, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a really good game. It's really kind of, I do like it's a typical Lego game, but I think as it was sold to me by Matt, a friend of the show, he just said the great thing about it is it's just not constrained to any franchise, so they can do with whatever they want, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's a really good game, and it's nice to have that on the Switch, because with the thing that I'm suffering from at the moment, which is similar to you, is that kind of post E3. I'm desperate for something, and I don't know what it is. I'm like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I just do not know what I want first. What I want to kind of. So I end up just like sampling things. I'll keep with my analogy; it's working. I just keep sampling things and go, nope, don't want that. Try something else. Try this, try that, and I'm just not. I jumped into Horizon Zero Dawn, and I just sit there and go, my God, this game looks amazing. But I've got to this bit, and I'll probably talk to you, because it's a bit spoilery, I'll talk to you kind of like when we start recording. Yeah, because I don't know whether I need to start it again, because I was enjoying it, but then it was just so tricky, and it was just so annoying that I was like, no, this isn't what I want from my gaming. So I then went off to something else, played a bit of Star Wars.
The trouble is, you're at the buffet, but the trouble is, you've seen the desserts.
Yes.
And they're saying, no, sorry, the desserts, you've got to wait. But nothing else will do, because you're in the mood for you can't be bothered with the buffet now.
No, absolutely. I mean, well, thank God for Boomerang, because what I've actually done is I have some bonus games. So with Boomerang, the rental service, if you kind of rent enough games, and when you rent games and when you resubscribe every month, you start building up bonus points. So I've got enough bonus points for a game, and also I'm not renting anything at the moment. So what I've ordered from Boomerang is, while I wait for the Splatoon 2, what I've ordered from Boomerang is Wolfenstein. So Wolfenstein, the New Order and the Old Blood. So because there was a lot of talk about that at E3, and I really enjoyed that kind of demo that they showed of the new Colossus.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to jump into Wolfenstein. So they're both on their way for Xbox One. So I'm going to jump into Wolfenstein and have a bit of a play.
You are not the only one. There's been a resurgence with people playing Wolfenstein.
Really?
Because of Bethesda's reveal of the new Wolfenstein. Yeah. At E3. And it seems that, people are just playing this. I think the figures of people playing it have risen quite dramatically since it's been showcased. I haven't even mentioned that to you, but that's amazing that you've decided to play it again. Did you never play it? Did you miss it?
I know. I started playing Wolfenstein: The New Order, but for some reason, something else kind of took my focus away from it, and then I ended up trading it in. But I was enjoying what I was playing, so that's why I just want to kind of play that, and also the DLC as well. Well, not the DLC; it was a standalone, wasn't it? The New Blood was a standalone.
Yeah, it's funny, because I'd seen this and I've talked to people, and they're getting into it too. But only after hearing you just say that, it's made me want it.
Yeah.
So even though I talk to other people, and it's like, I'm going to play through this, but I don't know what it is, but I want to play it now. I did the same as you. I got about halfway. Yes. And then something else came along, and that was it. And it sat on my shelf for months. And I always wanted to go back to it because it was a good game. And now that I want to play it, guess what? I got rid of it, didn't I? And it could have just been on my shelf. I got rid of it for like 50p. Or a quid.
No, you didn't, did you?
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I'll just get it again. But that's a great game to play in the lull.
Yes, because the new Colossus comes out at the end of October. And I'm kind of looking at the games that are coming out. Like I say, there's Splatoon 2 that I fancy playing. I've never played a Splatoon game, but I fancy playing Splatoon 2. And obviously we've got the kind of lots of games coming out, such as like Destiny is coming out, Star Wars Battlefront towards the end of the year. There's quite a lot kind of coming out. But I've got Tacoma in August, and there's lots of games, and I know Destiny's going to take a big chunk of my time. But it's just looking between kind of now and the start of September, I've just got nothing to play. Nicola's there, she's still playing Zelda. And so she's kind of like 118 shrines now, and she's almost like 850 Korok seeds. She's started to look around the castle. So she's deep into that. So she's playing a lot of games at the moment, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm watching podcasts because I kind of play a bit of this. Go, nope, that's not it. I'll have a quick go of Forza Hot Wheels because that's fun, and then I'm just like, no, don't. I just kind of bounced around, and then I was just watching some E3 stuff, and then I saw that new Colossus trailer again. I'm like, I want to jump into that. That looks so good. I really like the way that what they've done there, and that was it. And that was just kind of right. That's what I'm going to do. I went straight to Boomerang, and I was like, right, I'll have that and I'll have that. So I bonus gamed New Blood, and then the New Order, or the Old Order, or whatever the other one is, and that's coming, and they're both coming kind of they're on their way. Both of those are winging their way to me now.
Oh, excellent. Well, hopefully they'll get their hooks in a bit, because I totally sympathise with you, because I'm a bit the same, and there's nothing worse than being adrift. Especially when we've been so spoiled. I mean, I think that just increases the impact of it even more. It's like all of a sudden it's just a sledgehammer that you bang into, and it's like, yeah, well, you've had all the games. It's like, oh, no. And it's kind of like, there's that dessert awaiting. You can see those games that are coming down the stream, but it's like, what do I do? What's for the here and now?
Yes.
And it's very difficult to sort of, especially like, me and you, we usually have hit every game. So it's not, especially this year, so it's not like there's many we've missed unless you go too far back. I mean, I was thinking about, I'll play Neo, and I thought, you know what, I think that ship sailed. It was weird. I just thought, I don't want that. I do want it, but I can't be bothered at the moment. It's kind of because I'm like you, and I want the dessert. Yeah, I can't be bothered going back to the starter, even though Neo's like awesome. So it's weird. It's kind of like, I don't know whether I'm just fickle, but I just want something new. I don't want something old, but something like that would be good. It's like if I'd never played Bioshock Infinite or something like that, that'd be perfect.
Yes, and that's exactly what I want to get into. I want to get into a story. And, and I did bounce around the idea of getting Final Fantasy. And I'm like, no, don't want to play that. And, I've got Halo Wars. I'm like, no, I'm not into that. There was this... I have been in a real battle with myself because instantly I thought, okay, I'm in a lull. Indies. Let's look to the indies. I'm going to play some indies. What can I play? I'll spend some cash and play some indies. Couldn't find anything. I mean, I must admit, the Xbox One store is full of junk. But because, that's just looking at the picture and the name of it. I was like, no. There was nothing that I haven't played, or I've got to a point where I'm frustrated. Like Ori, after listening to you playing Ori, I was like, oh, let's have a play of Ori, and then I realised why I'm not playing that game.
The new one's got an easy mode.
Yeah, I guess I could. That was the other thing. I thought, right, maybe I'll restart it. But for me, I think it's like some of the level jumping that is just like really annoying me, And I was just like, and then I was like, oh, Guacamelee. I finished that on the Vita, but never finished that on the Xbox, And I really like that game. And I was like, no, don't. And I am just like scrabbling around. I'm like, someone show me something. And then, Wolfenstein appeared with a beacon of light. Also, that appeared with a beacon of light was Gears of War 4. Because I just decided, I think, again, Nicola was playing Zelda, and I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to jump in. And I just jumped into multiplayer modes. So I did a map and mode rotation on Gears of War 4, sat there for probably about an hour. No one was on mic, so I put my mic on. No one was on mic, so I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to listen to a podcast whilst I, just have a laugh, in the battle modes. And I really enjoyed that. I was just jumped in and just kind of had a bit of a play, and that kept me entertained for an hour.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Gears is a fine game. Yeah, that's what it's there for your pleasure.
Exactly.
Just to mention something I just wanted to mention before when you mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn, it just reminded me of something. I got another email yesterday, I think it was, from Sony, from PlayStation, saying, congratulations, because you platinumed Horizon Zero Dawn, here's a free dynamic theme.
No way.
And they gave me a little code. The weird thing is I didn't even know that I'd platinumed it.
Wow.
I don't know what I did to platinum it. I didn't like go around hunting, loads of stuff. So anyway, it was a nice surprise. I haven't looked at the theme yet, but I was like, oh wow, did I really I'm going to actually have to check. Maybe they've made a mistake, but because I thought getting platinum achievements was ridiculously hard. I've only got a few. So yeah, that was just a nice little moment. I wasn't so bothered about the theme as the fact they told me I'd done it as a platinum. I was like, oh wow,
that's awesome, well done.
Oh, thank you. But Gears is a great game. I mean, I missed out on Gears 4, but it looks amazing. You don't want to wear it out though. I'd be shelving that till your 4K update comes along.
Well, that's why, because, again, I was crippled by my own kind of stupid eyeballs, because what I wanted to do was I want to play the story mode again, because, like, Nicola and I played it co-op, and I wanted to just play the story mode again. But like I say, I've got to wait for that kind of 4K update. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to jump back into Horde on Gears of War 4, because they've updated it, and there's some updates. So there's kind of another thing that I want to do, but right there and then there wasn't kind of anyone around. So there's kind of lots of gaming to be had in that, and still in Gears of War. But so I just played some multiplayer, and I really enjoyed it. It's really interesting how when you start playing multiplayer, you're a little bit rusty to start off with. You're getting killed all the time. You are just there to get other people points. But the more you play it, by kind of I think probably about the half an hour mark, the 35-minute mark, I was then kind of creeping up the leaderboard, and I was really enjoying that. I was really enjoying the fact that I was instantly improving, which was quite cool.
Yeah, it's nice to feel that. I don't mind so much being rubbish at first if I feel I'm getting better. It's good. It's good. Yeah, definitely good.
But it is a total shotgun fest in multiplayer Gears. I always go in because I love the Lancer. I absolutely love the Lancer.
I love the Lancer. I hate the shotgun, but I hate the guys that blow my head off in one shot as well. So you sort of have to learn it, don't you?
Well, exactly. They just barrel roll up to you.
That's it, yeah.
Like blow your head off and then barrel roll away, all nonchalant. And for me, I love it when they throw the kind of smoke grenades in. I just switch to my Lancer and just have my chainsaw revving. And every now and then you happen to catch one of them who's just trying to kind of, especially when you're playing the capture the flag mode when you're kind of in those zones. And it was great fun. It was really cool.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head, I was trying to, before, when I was saying that no AAA games or whatever, no big blockbusters, and obviously Next Machina is an awesome game, so it kind of contradicts what I was saying. I think what you got it's like I want to be wrapped up in a narrative. When you said story, that's what it is, and it doesn't have to be a story that's as linear as Uncharted or something like that. I want to be wrapped up in a narrative world, and I think that's it. So it could be another Uncharted, but it could be another Horizon, or it could be another Zelda, even though I've still got Zelda to complete.
That's the thing that makes me laugh. And I was talking about you just the other day, to Nicola, and I was like, Darren hasn't finished Zelda yet because he doesn't want to finish it, because of, he doesn't want to end it. And I was just like, but you've still got a lot to game. There's still a lot of game there. And it's just like, and because I almost envy you guys, because you've still got, there's still a lot of Zelda to be had. I mean, this Friday, we get the DLC, which adds those challenge maps, the challenge mode. So I think I might buy the season pass to Zelda, just so I've got something else to play. But then again, on my Switch, I'm kind of covered with Lego City. But it's just nice to have more Zelda.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to complete. You just said it for me. I'm too scared. It's too good. I don't want to complete it.
So, like Game of Thrones, when you know that obviously Mario Odyssey is out in October.
Yeah, October. Yeah.
So, will you then start ramping up? So, about September. I
might wait till I've completed Mario.
What?
Because
you do realise that we've got this is an amazing game that you're kind of you're restricting yourself from, and B, we're going to be talking a lot about this in the Game of the Year show.
Oh, okay.
A lot about this.
Well, that's. Yeah, I see what you mean. But
a lot.
I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want it to end. It's just so good. But then not playing it is ridiculous, isn't it? It's like, I don't want it to end, so I won't enjoy it anymore. But it's still there for me, and I'm just scared that I feel that I'm at a stage where, I think, have I got just one more Divine Beast or two? There must be just one left. And I hit that point, and I was like, only one left. Oh, whoa. Because I know what I'm like. I'll do the Divine Beast, and then I'll saddle up, and I'll go off and defeat Ganon, and then I'll probably never play it again. But then again, if I'm never playing it again anyway,
yeah, exactly.
What's the difference?
You're not playing it right now anyway, so it doesn't. I mean, you have to, after experiencing it with getting to the end and not getting all the memories. I highly recommend anyone who's playing Zelda, make sure you have all of the memories. They appear on one of your pages, so when you kind of look at your map and you hit the left trigger, it will take you to kind of your pictures, and the first page of that is your memories. And I would say make sure you get all of the memories, of which the last one is in the castle. Make sure you get all of those before you attack and finish the game. So there's a bit of gamification there in that game as well, because you need to make sure you get all of those memories.
Yeah, you're right. It's just it's the best game on Switch. I'd say it's one of the best games ever, and I just don't want it to end. It's almost that I would. It's ridiculous that I just would not. If I could, I mean, it won't come to this, but I kind of would like never to complete it until Zelda 2 came out. And then, it was like, Zelda 2's coming out in this date. And then, like 2 months before or whatever, 4 months before, I'd just start playing Zelda and then trying to end it on the release day of the next one. And then I'd have this seamless transition.
And then you don't play that one for 10 years.
Yeah, and then I'll shelve that. It's like, I'm still missing out, aren't I? It's like, it's just a showcase, and it's like the reason I got the Switch. And
it's beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful game.
But it's ridiculous not to put it on. But you see, I've been distracted with other stuff.
Yes.
But I'll be on that. I'll be on that soon. Next Machina has taken my attention, and Mario Kart has taken my attention. I've been on the Switch a lot, but I've been on Mario Kart, and I've been happy with that. But yeah, I think Zelda's time is coming.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if I was in the lull that I'm in now with Zelda there, like I say, Nicola's like 135 hours in, to Zelda. Wow. It'd be really interesting to see what your kind of, and you can just if you go to your profile on the Switch, you can see it says, been playing this for so many hours. It'd be interesting to see kind of where you are and how many hours you've done, because like I say, a very completionist in her is just striving to get all of those Korok seeds and all of those shrines.
I'll tell you, I'm at least 10 hours in.
Wow.
So I know.
So there's 125 hours if you want to be like if you want to be a completionist.
Awesome. No, I don't know how many hours in I am. It must be a fair bit.
Yeah, but especially if you've done 3 Divine Beasts, you're probably about 20 hours in.
Yeah, I haven't rushed.
No.
So yeah. I'm intrigued myself. I'll have a look. But yeah, it's just a weird foible that I've got. So there you go. I'm the only one missing out, and it's not fair.
It's adorable. It's adorable and special, just like you, sir. Oh, right. So let's start the news section. And in this week's news section, Beyond Good and Evil's engine appears. Nintendo are back with another Mini, and we have those July games with gold. But first, as the first piece of news says, with you.
It is, thank you, sir. This is the news that Sean Layden joined E3 a little while after. He was interviewed by German site golem.de, and he was questioned about whether we would ever see any game being a PS4 Pro exclusive. To which he replied, "That will never happen." So the story hasn't changed. He just reiterated that for that question, but I think it was a good question to ask, really, just to make sure, because it's happened in the past, hasn't it, that certain messaging has changed as time has gone by, and the PS4 Pro's been out a little while, and we've had the Xbox One X released, so I think it was worth asking the question. But he basically said that will never happen. Yeah, what was the exact question? Whether we would see any game that's being supported by PS4 Pro but not by the base PS4. He said it'll never happen. So that's good. And it kind of led into another question about whether or not we were looking at sort of an iterative, more of a phone type ecosystem going forward, or whether we were going to look for an actual new generation, or whether the generations had ended. And he said, when he was asked whether we'll have to rely on a brand new PlayStation 5 for better hardware, he said it will probably be some time. So that seemed to indicate that the PlayStation 5 was on the cards rather than just keep slight iterations.
Right.
So maybe, because I think it's kind of inevitable that I think it'll be a sad time, but I think it's inevitable that we're just going to get sort of, this kind of modular concept or iterative updates to the console. So maybe we're going to get another gen from our old buddies at Microsoft and Sony, PS5, Xbox, 2X, whatever. And then maybe that'll be the start of the iterative, modular, more PC-like consoles. And I suppose if that's going to happen, maybe we've got a couple of years to wait, and we'll see what's going on. It's strange because this generation still feels reasonably fresh to me.
Oh, absolutely. You look at the games that we saw at E3. I mean, okay, a lot of them, especially at Microsoft's console conference, were running in 4K. But we are at that mid cycle, aren't we? We're at that point where everybody's getting used to the hardware. Everybody's kind of really kind of pushing the hardware, and obviously we're now getting a slight refresh as well. And I think you're right. I kind of lend itself almost to the iPhone, which is you get the 7 and then you get the 7S, and it's like, are we going to have that with all the generations now? Yeah,
and maybe it would be that you get the S, and you get even when you get a numbered upgrade, or it might be a longer time, like double the time till you get a generational leap. But then, if it does keep just getting upgraded slightly each time, would there actually be a leap? In which case, would that actually work? Would it just carry on as just slight iterative jumps? Because surely to have a big jump, you'd have to have a rest. you'd have to have a pause, wouldn't you? I suppose it depends. Maybe they'll test the water because, these refreshes feel like they came out fairly quickly, but that might not be true. It might have been the same because I know the 360 got many refreshes, and so did the PlayStation 3. I just can't remember what the timescales were like just off the top of my head, but they felt quite sudden to me. They felt quite soon. I suppose it just depends if people keep buying them. If they announce next year an Xbox One XS and then a PS4 Pro S, whatever, and it would just be down to sales, wouldn't it? And if they didn't sell, they'll be like, oh, well, that's a bad idea. If it sells in its droves, they'll be like, well, the public want this. And it's basically people will vote with their wallets, won't they? So we'll see. We'll see.
Exactly. I mean, bear in mind that the Xbox One came out in 2013. So we're 4 years. I mean, I know we've had the One S, but we're 4 years into this generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and when was the S? S was like September, October last year.
It was, yeah, it must have been. And then, so the Xbox 360, that had, like you say, that had a redesign, didn't it? Because the first one that came out, and then we had the black one, which had is that the one that had the HDMI port? Yeah, it had
the Elite I think the Elite had an HDMI port, and then it changed its shape completely and became all sort of black,
slim,
the slim one, and then it could be the touch button at the front. So yeah, there was the original one, and then there was the Elite one, which was still the same form factor, I think, as the original, and then you got the Slim. So there was a fair, and there was all different sort of bundles, wasn't there, you could get, or different SKUs, different hard drive sizes and stuff.
It was 5 years. So the original Xbox came out in Europe on the 2nd of December 2005. I remember it well. I was queuing all day for a midnight launch in Tesco's. And then the Xbox One S came out in 2010. So it came out on July 16th, 2010. So it was 4.5 years.
Oh, okay. So it's been slightly quicker this time.
So we're almost. We don't. So this is coming November. And then the original one came out in May. So it's about 4.5 years.
Okay. So, yeah. I think it just varies.
It just feels quicker, doesn't it? It just really does. You're right. It feels a lot quicker.
It does. I mean, I love a new console. But I don't want a console Christmas. Just for I don't want one just for the sake of it. When I say I love a new console, I mean I love that feeling of being blown away by something that I didn't expect, something that's so good. But we just don't get that so much anymore with diminishing returns and Moore's law and all the rest of it, which is a real shame. I almost wish that a console generation would be lasting 8 years, 9 years, 10 years again.
But you don't feel that the showcase that we got at E3 kind of gave you like a little something?
Oh, do we look? Yeah, I do. I think it was good. Like Anthem, for instance, was amazing. So there's still bits there, but I think I just have to kiss goodbye to getting another Mario 64 moment.
Or maybe with Odyssey you'll get that.
Well, you see, that was just refined and amazing creative playability.
Yes.
But the visuals seemed really on a par with Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be that transition that when I saw Mario 64 from 2D to 3D, it was kind of just like, whoa. I mean, there are no more dimensions. We can't go from 3D to 4D. Not really. And even if we did, I don't think it would probably be advisable.
We're saying that. I did see one of the news items in the VR news desk a bit later where it kind of maybe does go 4D.
Oh, right.
Or it goes real world. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, so that's, I mean, that it's interesting to see that both Sean Layden and also Phil Spencer are both saying that there's no exclusives at the moment, and it will be interesting to see because now Xbox, we have the Xbox One S and then the Xbox One X when that comes out in November. We'll have that. They're the only two kind of SKUs that we've got left now. Kind of come November, it'll be interesting to see if in a couple of years' time, maybe the Xbox One X, we do just get, it's like iPhones. There are some games that it will run on your iPhone like it will run on your iPhone 4 or 5, but it's not going to run very well. Or actually, we've gone beyond that now, and it's no longer supporting it. It will be really interesting to see if Sean Layden ends up eating his words, maybe 18 months' time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe saying it will never happen is a bit strong. Never. Maybe that was a bit strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you should have said something like, "We don't foresee that ever happening."
Yes, exactly.
Like,
be very choice with these words.
Yeah, yeah. But then it was a translation of a German page from Google. So, with me not speaking German, he could always blame Google, unless it was actually that he said.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
So over to you, sir.
The next piece of news is with me, and we all knew this was coming, and that is the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Classic Mini. I think its full name is Nintendo Classic Mini Super Nintendo Entertainment System, is its full title, is coming. So yesterday, Nintendo dropped the news that it is going to be releasing another one of those minis, another one that set everybody, our parents, uncles like myself, kind of hunting for these for Christmas presents for kids and nephews, and set eBay alight as we're getting another one. So it's time to do that all over again, and that time is coming on the 29th of September. So yesterday Nintendo announced that they'll be launching this micro console, and that the micro console will be launching with 21 preloaded games onto the system. And obviously in true Spark form we do have the full list, which I'll read out in just a second. It's worthwhile noting that it will be coming with a never released game, which is Star Fox 2, so which I think is quite interesting. I believe the ROM for Star Fox actually kind of made it out onto the internet, so there are kind of dark corners of the internet where you can play Star Fox 2, but this is kind of the first official Nintendo release for that's coming out on this Nintendo Classic Mini. Interestingly, and this is quite I quite like this, is that there are 3 SKUs for the SNES Mini. The first one is the American one, a very purple, very blue, which I'm sure a lot of people kind of grew up in the US with. But then they're also bringing out the European SNES, which is the one that we grew up with, which is absolutely just gorgeous. I do prefer the look of the European SNES Mini to the US one. And there's a third one, which is the Japanese one, and I think the Japanese one looks like the American one, but it has a much better box. The box is very cool. So it's really interesting that they've kind of localized these just as they were kind of when they came out.
Yeah, I think definitely the European system is a lot sleeker than the American one. It's a little bit too, I don't know, severe in its lines.
It really is, isn't it?
From what I'm used to. Maybe if that was been the one that I'd got for Christmas when I was small, then I'd be like, oh yeah, I love that. But yeah, we all thought it was coming. It's fantastic that it's been announced and that we're getting this. I think it's a really cool present for people. I love the way that it looks so perfect. It's just like the original, but it's miniaturized, fits in your hand. Controller cable's going to be a bit longer.
Yes,
which is nice. But not that long, not the 5 foot, I think, 5 feet long.
Right.
That's not going to get from my, well, it probably depends how long the power cable is. But I'm scared that won't reach where I sit, which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It worked well for the old me in my bedroom at home with my TV on my computer desk. That'd be perfect. But for the lounge gamer, it poses a difficulty, maybe. But might not even take it out of the box.
I wonder if they'll bring out the wireless controllers, or someone will bring out wireless controllers similar to they did with the NES Mini. But let's kind of get to the important stuff. It's coming out on the 29th of September. So it will be launching in the UK and also around the world on the 29th of September. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the podcast was saying that the launch window for this, by all accounts, has been a bit of a to and fro between a journo and someone at Nintendo. And the launch window of this is going to be from the 29th of September up until the end of the year. So that's kind of that's where they're going to be kind of manufacturing, and that's where that's the only time that you're going to be able to buy that from official channels. So it's from the 29th of September until the end of the year. So the games that are going to be coming, like you said, it's coming with 2 controllers, not one. It's coming with 2 controllers, not one. It's got an AC adapter that uses a USB plug. And at the moment, Amazon UK is pricing it at $69.99. And I think it's about $80 in the US. So the full list of games that are coming with the SNES Mini, in Europe, this is, and I don't know if it kind of changes when it kind of localizes, but the full list is Contra 3, Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, I love F-Zero, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, and Kirby's Dream Course. So Kirby gets a couple of games on there. The Legend of Zelda and Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox and Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting Edition, which was fantastic, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is just awesome, cool. Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Legends of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Yoshi's Island. So there's some decent games there.
It's a good mix. Good mix, yeah. It's a fine mix, obviously picked by a gamer that knows his stuff. And there's a few differences, isn't there? Because I think the games package for Japan is slightly different.
Absolutely, we're just talking about. So yeah, absolutely. You know, that is slightly different. It looks quite nice, actually, isn't it? It's very kind of neon.
Yeah.
But so they have. So it's quite funny. I'm on Eurogamer. Eurogamer has the kind of. I think Eurogamer is one of the ones that broke the noise, and they have the news, and they have this basically update of kind of where it is. And it's really interesting because at 3:30 today, Nintendo's official store has now put up a pre-order live at $69.99, and then at 3:55 it was like they're all gone. Nintendo's official UK store is now sold out of SNES Minis in just 24 minutes. And then there was like at 4:15, it was like Amazon UK has just added a fresh round of stock and are now price matching at $69.99. I think the day before it was $79.99. But as time of podding went on to Amazon, and they were basically just like, click here to be notified when there's stock.
Wow.
So it's already started.
Yeah, of course it has. If you look on eBay, 170 quid seems to be the going rate already.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, going up to 200, and one guy from the States trying his hand with 785 quid.
What?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem, isn't it? Because, you know, there's two things. One, there's going to be a whole load of people that missed out on the NES Mini. And so there's people that missed out on the NES Mini. They're going to, I'm not missing out on this. I really want to play this. These are some great games. So they're going to be looking at it. You're going to get all of those eBay scalpers, like those people you've just mentioned there, who are like, I can make a quick buck out of this. This is going to be the new hotness come Christmas time. So I'm just going to buy some of these, and I'm going to buy them in different sites, and I'm going to just put them up on eBay. So because there was a lot of noise that happened with the NES, you now have this, you know, a in my mind, the better version of that. And, you know, so you've now got that. So there's going to be even more pressure and even harder for those people that want to get hold of it now.
Yeah, absolutely. When I mentioned the Japan console being different, I wasn't just meaning the box. They're actually getting some different exclusive games on the Japanese version. And that is, they get, and these are instead of some of ours, they get Fire Emblem, Mystery of the Emblem. I think these are games that are probably more of a hit in Japan. Yes. Legend of Mystical Ninja, Panel de Pon, Super Soccer and Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's a few differences, but those differences could be interesting for collectors, because you could get both, couldn't you?
Yes.
Well, if you could get both, you could get both.
And if there was anything on the North American one, then you could kind of have all three.
Yeah, and that'd be a lovely set, wouldn't it? And sell that for like £3,000 on
oh
eBay.
My God, yeah, you imagine that, the complete set of all three of those with. But yeah, I mean, so it looks very interesting. It looks great. You know, for me, and I don't know how you feel about this, Daz, but for me, I am excited about this, but equally disappointed, because I'm excited about it because it looks amazing. I love these games. You know, I had a SNES and a Mega Drive. You know, I absolutely love these games. I mean, I'm a bit disappointed there's no Super Star Wars or Super Empire Strikes Back, but you know, you can't have everything. But so I'm quite excited about this because it's very cool. It looks lovely, especially the European one. But at the same time, I just want these on my Switch. Why aren't those 21 games just packaged up as a cartridge or a download that I can just play on my Switch?
They may do that as well, but they say it's a different market, so I'm not sure if Nintendo would exclusivize these for the mini SNES. Maybe in the short term,
yes.
But I would hope that this would not be a bar for them getting there.
But are you going to buy one? Are you going to?
Right, I think this is a fantastic toy, and I'm excited about it too, and I really love it. Mm-hmm. But I just can't be bothered at getting involved in this. You know, with the hunt to get one, with the, you know, if I can get one easily, that's fine. Yeah. But I'm not gonna buy one from a scalper. I'm not gonna do it. If I can't get it for RRP, I'm gonna wash my hands of it. I'm not gonna fuel the fire. So as much as I want one, I'm just gonna sort of disassociate myself. If I can get one, then that's fine. But I found the last rigmarole really annoying, and I really hope that they make enough of them so that these prices on eBay had just become laughable. That would be really amazing. I don't know if that would happen, but that would be so good. If we were awash with supply that basically just turned those expected prices to dust. And then that'd be brilliant. But I would like one, but I can't be bothered getting involved in all this price war stuff. It's just, like I say, I think it just adds fuel to the fire. I don't want anything to do with it, but I do love it. I just think it's a shame that these things just go so red hot. I'm ambivalent with it, really, because it's great that it goes really hot, you know, and everyone wants one.
But why didn't they learn from the NES?
Opportunists?
Yeah,
yeah. They have said that they're going to make more than the NES Mini, but it just depends how many opportunists there are out there.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up in the morning, find out about this. I didn't see this story as it broke. Okay, I thought, oh, demon, they're all gone. But it was new news to me when I only found out today because I was doing something else yesterday, and I can't get one. And it's there should be an ethical opportunist. There should be an ethical scalper, and I might become it. And if I had the cash, I would. And what you do, I'll buy up the whole lot, and I'll resell them at the same price, just to stop other people doing it. What do you think of that? We'll pool our money. We'll buy like the 2,000 that are available, and then we'll sell them all at the RRP, and we'll lose out. But I wish someone would kind of do that. Oh yes. Yeah, the people that are doing that should be Nintendo. Now, Game have tried to. I think this is some. You know, Game have tried to make some difference here. They've changed the price of the deposit. Usually, you got to put £10 down, but they've changed it because of opportunist people. They've changed it to £50 deposit for the SNES Mini. So instead of just having to put a tenner down, if you want to secure one, you got to put £50 down. But I'd say that probably won't deter the most determined people, because they'll probably just think, well, I'm going to pay £60 anyway, or £70, whatever it is. So if they've allocated that money, in some cases that might stop the poorer people who actually want one from pre-ordering. So you could argue that might make it might cut the wrong people out of the deal, and that's really sad. But I sort of see what they're trying to do there, and I thought it was a sort of an admirable effort.
Yes.
But thinking about it, as I've just said to you, I think actually what that has got a risk of doing is cutting out the sort of honourable gamer and making no difference to the businessman.
Yes,
which is a shame. But it was a nice gesture.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting one because, like you say, anyone who is kind of probably looking to this to scalp it, to flip it, they're happy to do that because they're putting
probably
£50 down.
Want to buy more than one. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're that you can only have one per customer, but they're committed to buying it.
Yeah,
like somebody else, Little Johnny, as we like to talk about Little Johnny, he might only have £10 now, and he's saving the rest up, and. So he's just got £10 that he's emptied his money box for, but now it won't secure him one. So the fat cats will get them, and little Johnny will be like, "Oh, never mind. I'll have to save for 5 years now to get £752 to pay that guy in America." Oh,
so if you can get hold of one, you'll grab one on Amazon, maybe, or your local store. That little guy that you've got around the corner.
Oh yeah, the shifty guy. Yeah, I should give him a ring. I could sell one on eBay, couldn't I? Then
you should have a chat with him before, because I think he didn't have them previously, did he? Because he knew that he could make some money on those. So
yeah,
he gave you the VR, but he didn't give you a NES Mini because he knew that he could make the money on that one.
Yeah, he sorted him out with the PSVR on the Switch. I might give him a call and just sound him out about that. That's a very good point.
Just say, if I give you £10 now, can you put one by for me when you get them?
Yeah, do you want me to just sort you out as well?
No, I'm not interested in this at all.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to jump in.
I'm not going to do it. Not going to jump in. They're not going to get my cash. I would rather this be a game. I want them to focus on the virtual console. I want to be playing these games. Love those games. They're absolutely superb. But I've got no space and no in my AV cabinet for this. And I enjoy wireless controller gaming and Switch on the go. And I want all of those games on the Switch. So I'm making a stand here.
Good
my
man,
one lonely $69.99 stand, but I'm voting with my wallet, and I'm going to vote with my wallet and say nope, it's awesome. I love the design. I think the design's awesome. I was actually thinking at one point maybe I'll just have that in my office, just get it out, like just buy it just to put in my cabinet. And I thought that's a complete waste because someone might want to play it. That's what I was thinking,
because I wouldn't play it. It's impractical. It won't work for me.
Yeah.
But I just sort of want it. If I could get one easily, then but it'd be one of those things that I'd probably have one go and then put it away with all my other consoles.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right, because say that you bought this to play it. You don't want to be buying a Nintendo game in this day and age that you can only play in your lounge.
No.
With a wired pad. You're going to want that you can pause your game of Super Street Fighter, Hyper. Whatever it was called,
Light
or Mario
Drifter.
Kart, yeah, Hyper Light Drifter, and off you pop onto the train, and it carries on. You don't want to be thinking, well, I can't play it once I leave the house. So it's a nice bit of retro niche culture, and I think it's a great toy. But yeah, as for I wouldn't be sitting there playing it for hours and hours and hours. But go on, it'd just be just almost as a trophy.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think the European one looks great. It's tiny. It looks absolutely fantastic. But I'm not going to play it. So I'm not going to be the person who buys it and then someone else can't have it, especially as these will be incredibly hard to get hold of. They will be incredibly sought over and scarce. So I'm not going to buy it just for the sake of doing that, just so someone else doesn't. Little Johnny doesn't get it.
Little Johnny could get yours. That's nice.
And exactly. So I want to make sure that someone else can get it. Hopefully, mine will go to an eBay scalper. But at the same time, all of those games, I want all of those on this virtual console. That if Nintendo are doing this from the 27th of September to the end of the calendar year, virtual console will be released in January. So if you think about it, it'll probably be that they'll do this, get this out of the way. And then it will be released in January. Now, if they do a N64 but then again, I've got an N64 in storage, so I don't need an N64.
Yeah, so have
I. But like I say, I'd rather these N64, GameCube games, all of those, I'd rather them just be on the Switch.
Yeah, because we can pretty much plug in one of our old consoles if we're that keen, like you were saying about Mario Sunshine. But it was just wonderful to have them on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not being grumpy. I really want this. I really want those games. I'd love to play those games again. I'd love to jump into them. But I love my Switch, and I just want them on my Switch.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough.
So, the next piece of news is with you.
It is, and this is about Beyond Good and Evil 2. I was seeing a little bit more of it. So the trailer we saw at E3 from Ubisoft, it was amazing and everything, but it was all just a pre-rendered, cutscene. Could have been the trailer for a film, for all we know.
I wish it was. I love that.
Well, yeah, me too. It'd be amazing. So it was with great happiness that I saw that Michel Ancel took us through a work in progress tech demo that he'd been working on, and it's about a quarter of an hour in length, and it showed the engine in real time being actually played by him, and him talking through some of the facets about the engine. So it's not the game, because the game's being built, but it's the engine that they've built that they're going to build the game in, and showing some of the stuff that you could do. Did you see this at all?
I did indeed. I think you sent me over the link, didn't you? You said, check this out, and I kind of had a look at it, and I just thought it looked fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I forget, because it was one of those I'd just woken up sort of things. It's like I woke up, checked the news, saw that, and then sort of just texted you straight away. It's like, my goodness me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks I just wanted to be tempered, right? First of all, it probably won't come out for years, right?
Yeah, but, temporary expectation.
But my goodness me, it looked really, really promising, and really in line with the footage, the pre-rendered footage that we've seen. What he showed off was he concentrated quite a lot on a spaceship that was like, he described this as the main hub where this would be the hub for your character. It's not just a spaceship, but it's also he said it was about 100 metres long or something, or maybe he said it was 400 metres long. So there's a lot going on inside this ship. You can roam about inside and do all sorts of things. He was controlling the monkey character that we saw from the pre-rendered cutscene or clip, and he was flying him around the spaceship to show us round, really, give us a tour of the ship, what it looked like. Then, to give us an idea of scale, there was a massive statue next to the monkey, next to the spaceship. And he said, this spaceship, that's about 400 metres long. And he said, this statue over here, that's about 800 metres tall. And he said, so let me just show you this. So then he flew, and he said like most, well, he didn't say like most things, I don't want to paraphrase and get it wrong. He said, like the ship. I think he said something like the ship, this statue, you can go inside it if you want to explore. He didn't do that. I was like, go inside. I wanted him to go inside the ship as well, but he didn't. Oh, miserable. So off he went, and he flew to this statue, and it was like it was kind of a, I don't know, sort of Buddhist-influenced statue.
It was like a Ganesh, wasn't it? It was
kind
of like
a Ganesh statue. Yeah, absolutely. And so he flew right up to it, really close, little tour around the earlobe, for instance. Like when he got close, like the character's about as big as just the lobe, if that. And then he landed on top and then zoomed out and just showed us the expanse. And he said, this is all working in real time. And then interestingly, he mentioned that he changed the time of the day, and he said this sunset, he said that isn't just a sunset that's been created by the artists, that is a sunset. And this is sort of alarm bells struck with, I hope this is what something amazing. He said that sunset is based on the fact that this planet is actually orbiting a sun. And so the sun's going to orbit this, and that's why
we're going to get
sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Did you get that feeling too? It was like, crikey, this is No Man's Sky all over again. But I was thinking maybe, hopefully, and as I crossed everything, I was thinking this. I mean, it's probably only skin deep, the references to, the technology being similar to No Man's Sky. Because we know this is going to, well, we don't know, but I'm hoping this is going to have a story. I mean, it must have. It's Beyond Good and Evil. But that's not true. It could do what they want. And Ubisoft do like their open world games, but they do like a story too. So yeah, and he started talking about how that there was a planet out there, and then he seamlessly took his starship out of the atmosphere of this planet into space, and said, yeah, we can fly to that planet if we want to. And I was getting the alarm bells of No Man's Sky, I must admit, but that was very much combined and interspersed with like massive excitement about, wow, this is amazing. I couldn't help it, mate. Antony, man, am I just too naive?
No,
I couldn't help it. I was like, wow, this is so cool.
Absolutely, I got quite excited when he was. It was really funny. It was the little things that were exciting me, and the little thing was when he, when you saw kind of Monkey and he was flying, the monkey character, and then when he just kind of stopped flying, he just kind of hung there, just kind of moving in the wind with his kind of with his jetpack, just kind of rocketing there, just kind of there, and I just really enjoyed that. And then when he landed on the ship, and then the monkey character started running, but he was almost running in all fours in like a very kind of Neanderthal kind of way, like a monkey-like way. I absolutely loved that. I was like, oh my god, that is amazing. You know, and I kept saying that all the time. I just sat there watching it, going, this is amazing. You know, and I was like, and I think in the back of my head was that kind of temper your expectation.
Yeah, I was the same. I was like loving it. I was thinking this. I was actually impressed, surprised that the engine was here.
Yes.
I was thinking that, I mean, I know they said they've been working on it, but I just thought this was a complete sort of dream, you know, pie in the sky away. And I was so happy to see this in-engine demo that showed it so much more tangibly, you know, and looking as good as it did. And with all the nuances that he talked about, like you say, it's just, that's the trick with scale, isn't it? It's to go from the teeniest detail to the sort of the bigger spectacle. And he mentioned that when I was watching an interview with him, and they were running the E3 trailer again, and they I don't know if you remember, but when they zoomed in on the like sort of the pig guy, it wasn't Page, but the pig guy in the mafia pig guy in that restaurant or whatever it was, and it showed sort of the dumplings he was eating, and the guy commented and he said, oh, those dumplings, they just look so amazing. It's like you can see through the dough, you can see the food inside. He said, the detail. And Michel Ancel said, that's what we wanted to do. Because what we want to do is we want to show you. He sort of said that scale, and again, this is just from memory, but he sort of said you lose a sense of scale if you don't focus on the tiniest detail. Yes. And he said by focusing on those tiny details, it just makes the world alive and brings that scale to life as well. And I was like, wow. And you could see... Then he just went on and showed this, and it's like, yeah, he wasn't making it up. Because this is really, you can definitely see the ambition.
Yes,
definite, can't you? You see the ambition. What the end game's going to be like? It's kind of like that's probably a bit of a dream and pie in the sky as well at the moment. But they built this technology specifically for this game, haven't they? Over a number of years, and it's great to see. If you haven't seen it, we'll put a link in for this little tour around the engine with the man himself. We'll put it in the show notes and you can have a look. And if you've seen it, you may want to watch it again, because I know I'm happy to watch it another couple of times. It's just, it's the thing is, it's just that little No Man's Sky thing on the fringes of my enjoyment, just going sensible now, be sensible, you know, all these things. And it's like, I think though that, you know, that taught everybody a lesson, so everybody is a little bit more grounded now. But yeah, man, this sky's the limit with this game. He also said, didn't he? He said that the character. He said there was going to be a character generator in it, so you're going to be able to make your own character, which I thought was pretty cool. That was good. What else did he say? He said that as you're photographing stuff, there's sort of going to be dynamic responses to what you're looking at. He said, for instance, if you come across a vessel and you find out that they're doing some kind of slave trading, you take some pictures of it, and then that go down to whoever's looking at your pictures. You can send them to somebody, and then they would talk. They would discuss that or something, or they get back to you. And that it sounded like that could like start a mission off, something like that. So missions could be started by what you're taking a photograph of at the time. And I just thought that was quite a nice dynamic, and good that they cut the photography in, because it was quite a big part of the original game.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So it's like, how much are they going to stick to the original in light of the profanity and stuff? Is it just going to be, you know, is it just going to be a MMO? I hope not, but you know, it's well worth a look. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so what do you think? What do you think? Are you thinking 2020 for this game?
Depends how big it's like we talked about it before, haven't we? There's a triangle, isn't there? It's like time, money, and resource. I think money equals resource, really. Ubisoft got they're pretty cash rich. They've got a lot of developers, haven't they? We've heard these talk about Assassin's Creed being made by hundreds and hundreds of developers in different locations.
Mm-hmm.
So if they threw all that at it, maybe it would only be 2019,
right?
Or maybe even the end of 2018. It all depends. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to throw at it. But I think what the scary thing is with this project, and maybe this is why they slipped it out there, is if Vivendi bought Ubisoft, they might just scrap this.
Holy moly, yeah.
And that's a scary thing because they're sort of poised for a hostile takeover. They have been for a while. Ubisoft says they don't want it, but it's been in the news recently that it was like getting scarily close, and I don't really know any more than that. But the kind of thing, the thing that worried me is, especially in light of this, before this I wasn't that bothered, and then it's like, well, yeah, they'll sort of take over and say, right, well, what's the point of spending the money on that? You haven't got anything, and just say, right, that's not happening. Do you know what I mean? Sweep the decks.
Yeah,
that's a bit scary. But getting that out there, if that did happen now, there'd probably be quite a lot of anger against Vivendi for doing that. But I mean, that's just hypothesis. So, to answer your question, Anthony, I don't know the answer to that question because it could be it's a complete piece of string, isn't it? It'd be amazing if it was shorter rather than longer.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a CGI trailer for this game in like 2015, 2014 that looked amazing.
Yep.
But it's completely different because that was I think that was the main character sort of running through a city and sort of running down a corridor. Looked really ahead of its time and really great. And then we heard nothing for like 10 years. Which doesn't tie up with the dates I just gave, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So we've had a CGI trailer and we've had gameplay before. So I guess exactly, and that's it, and that's one because remember we had that one where the pig was sitting on top of the car, didn't we? That
was more recent, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then in the same time that came out, we had Jade running through cities, bouncing through windows and stuff like that. So,
but maybe this is backed up with a bit of the engine. I'm taking that. I'm taking what I can.
I am too. I'm just like this has to come out now. It has to. They have to keep the momentum going. The Vivendi takeover aside, they have to keep the momentum going, and maybe they will keep giving us updates at various times, or maybe next E3 we get a bit more of okay, here's in game, and we'll get to see a bit more of that, and then it's 2018, because actually 2019, because it will be 2018 next year. So I reckon 2019 at the earliest, 2020 after it's been delayed twice.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, I think one positive thing you could take away. Well, there's a few positive things, but like
lots. There's lots. It looks incredible.
There is loads. Yeah, you could see the passion, couldn't you? And the determination in Michel Ancel's face when he came up. You could see the sort of determination, the desire, and the passion there in his eyes as he was tearing up, so gleeful to be able to finally talk about it. So if he's got anything to do with it, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
And you know what? As far as time's concerned, as long just get it out and please be good.
Exactly. I don't think it's, and I'm not calling the previous ones a sham, but I don't think it's kind of a sham that now because you could, as you said, you could just see Michel Ancel. So unless someone else, a third party or Vivendi or someone like that, cancel it, you can see that this is something that he desperately wants to make. This is something that is so close to his heart. And maybe if Vivendi said no, then would he be able to take the IP elsewhere and the work that they've done? Would they be able to take that elsewhere? Again, it's
and that depends if he owned the rights or if Vivendi got those rights as part of scooping up Ubisoft.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's a really interesting one, and it's one that I hope it doesn't go away. I hope it doesn't go away. I hope
the gaming world is with you.
Yes, exactly.
We're all together on that.
Indeed. So the next piece of news is with me, and that is it's free game time again. I can't believe it's come around yet again. So it's Games with Gold for Xbox. We don't have PlayStation yet, but Xbox have got out in front for July. So for July, what we've got is we have Grown Up. Is coming, so that's a sequel to Grow Home. Grown Up is coming, and that's from the 1st to the 31st of July. So you played Grow Home, didn't you?
I did. I liked it as well. It was really good. Control's somewhat challenging, but that's all part of its charm.
Yes.
and it was really good. And that had a nice concept of scale as well. It was really good fun, just climbing up, up to get to your spaceship. Wasn't so much fun when you slipped and dropped all the way down to the bottom, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I finished it. It was a good game, but I never played this one, so that's a result for me.
So that's fantastic. So that's the 1st to the 31st of July. We've got Growing Up on Xbox One. We have from the 16th of July to the 15th of August, we have Rumbo. And Rumbo is it's a Steam game that's coming to Xbox One. So it's a brand new game. And this is a multiplayer platform running game. So it's kind of a race to get to the end of the platform, to get to that trophy, to get to that end of the section. And you can play the single player, or you can also play multiplayer.
Wow, so it's not an endless runner then?
No, it's not. It's more like, say, for instance, there's 6 of us all jumping into the map. It goes, and then it's time for us to, you can take each other out while you're jumping and traversing the world, and you've got to get to the prize at the end of that level. Okay,
yeah, it looks okay. I've just had a quick look on Steam. Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good. Gets positive reviews, but it's only had 14.
Right.
Usually, I was expecting to see like 1,000 reviews, because it's made a transition.
Yeah.
Looks very colourful, very fun.
It does indeed. So that's coming from the 16th of July to the 15th of August. And then over on Xbox 360, which is also playable on Xbox One with backwards compatibility, we've got Kane and Lynch 2, Dog Days. So Kane and Lynch 2 is coming from the 1st of July to the 15th of July. So, which is quite cool. I think I played Kane and Lynch Dog Days. I think I played a bit of it because it looked so good in its time. It looked just so gritty, didn't it? I remember there being, I think it might have been after an E3 press conference or something like that, where they showed it, and it was very gritty, very, very stylized. So I remember playing that on the 360.
Oh, wow. I'd never played a Kane and Lynch game.
I didn't play the first one, but there was something about the second one. Maybe I played a demo. I don't know. But I definitely kind of played a bit of it. And then finally, on 360, which is playable on Xbox One, we have from the 16th of July to the 31st, we've got Pirates of the Caribbean Lego game.
Yay!
So this is Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's coming out, and that will be free to play. So it was an okay game. It was that point where maybe you kind of getting a bit kind of fed up with the Lego games, but then kind of got a resurgence later on. But it was good. It was good fun. I think they cover the first 3 movies in Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's lots of good fun. Lots of drunken Johnny Depp. And obviously with Sea of Thieves coming, Pirates are the new hotness. So it just made sense that we have a Pirates of the Caribbean game coming out.
Keep that momentum, that pirate momentum going.
Exactly. So that's like I say. So there's some good games. I think they get a B, maybe a C for that. Maybe a C.
I don't mind it. It's a good bunch. I've got sort of personal attachment to Pirates of the Caribbean, so that's good for me. Sam used to play the demo when he was 3, so it'll be good for him to play the whole game.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Grow Up is a winner for me because I really love the first one, and I only didn't get that. I just thought it'd be a bit too similar, and I might be proved wrong. Not sure about Rumbo. I'm not bothered about Kane and Lynch, but yeah, just for Grow Up and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Awesome.
It's all right. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's give them a B+. No, C+. Not
C+. Let's give them a C+. And with that scoring, that's it for our regular news. It's now time to head over to the VR news desk for all the latest in VR.
It is. So what we've got on the VR news desk for you this week? Well, one giveaway, which is quite interesting. PSVR giveaway. Wow. So what can you win? There's a competition on Sony's site. I think it's just for EU people. And you could win a PlayStation VR headset, 1TB PS4 Pro console, PlayStation camera, Platinum wireless headset, Star Trek Bridge Crew, and Farpoint with the AIM controller. I might enter this myself. So what we'll do, we'll stick the link for the competition in the show notes, and if you fancy having a go, I don't know what you have to do. I think you have to answer some questions. I haven't done it yet. I could do it live on the pod, but I might not be able to answer the questions. I could do it and then edit it out if I fail. It closes on the 14th of July.
So you got time.
So yeah, there's plenty of time. It's not like it ends tomorrow. It'll be over by the time you get the pod. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that because who knows? You could win, couldn't you? While on the subject of sort of not really a competition, but HTC, in tribute to the Steam summer sale, they've dropped the price of the Vive by $50 or £50. But also, it's not just that. They've thrown together a little sort of celebratory bundle, Steam Summer Sale bundle. So if you're after a Vive, it's probably quite a good time to get one because they've never done this before. They've knocked £50 off the price of the hardware. They've also going to give you a £50 Steam gift card, that's good for a couple of games probably, or more. Star Trek Bridge Crew they're throwing in as well.
Wow.
All of that for £709.
Bargain.
I know. For a Vive, it's pretty good.
I'm seeing it. It's a complete bargain. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's just having £710. Handy, isn't it, really? That's the sticking point. But if you were in the market for one, I think that's a blooming good deal because you also get a monthly access to the Viveport subscription,
right,
which will give you like whatever they've got on offer, like a PS Plus thing. And you also get Richie's Plank Experience and Everest VR as well. So that's 1, 2. You get those 2 games. Richie's Plank Experience is awesome. Everest VR is like climbing up Everest. I've never done that. Star Trek Bridge Crew is fantastic. It's like the best game on VR. £50 gift Steam card, which could get you potentially... I mean, there's some great games that are only like £6. So it could get you several games. And the Vive itself, £710. So I just thought that was worth mentioning, as they're quite proud of their £800 price point. In recent interviews, just before this sale, they were saying, we think it's good value and stuff, and it's the best one, so we're not probably going to be changing it. So this offer is not going to last forever. So if you're interested, go and have a look. It's on Steam. You can look at it on the HTC site. They've also done the same. It's the same package in the US side as well. So just Google the bundle, and from what I can see, you can get this bundle while the Steam Summer Sale lasts.
Right.
I haven't actually got the date in front of me because I had to go through so many sites to see the package. It sort of lost the Steam one a few tabs ago.
That's so cool. That's really good. That's really good.
I thought that was really good. I'm going to leave that tab open for the PSVR competition because I'm going to have a go. And then what was I going to say? Yeah, so the next piece of news is about using VR for education. I know we talk about this sometimes, and I think this is a really good one. There's a guy called Scott Cardwell. He's the developer of Immerse Me, and that's a website that looks at teaching language. And he sort of realised that there was no language tools in VR yet, quite to his surprise, I think, because he was travelling around Europe and he realised that the best way to learn language is by actually being in dialogue with the people of of whichever country to speak the language that you're trying to learn. And I've talked to people before, and they say that's the best thing. I know some of Claire's relatives moved away to like France or Brussels or whatever, and they've said, if you want to learn the language, go and live there. You'll learn it like that, in the blink of, maybe not in the blink of an eye, but it's by far the best because you're in dialogue, you're immersed in with the people. And so this guy, Scott Cardwell, he realised that, and so he, with his co-founder, they developed a project that would use VR to do just that. So what they did was they travelled across Europe and Asia with a 360 camera, and they captured all sorts of different scenarios with the people from all these different countries, so that you could then engage them within VR and use the language. So, for instance, I don't know, getting a sandwich in Paris, going to a cafe, all sorts of different things.
Yes. Croque monsieur is what they are.
I always prefer a croque monsieur than a croque madame.
Right.
I must say. Do you know the difference? You will do, won't you, my gastro friend?
I do, but I'm blanking.
Put a fried egg on the top.
Is that croque madame?
Yeah, it could be a poached, but it's an egg on the top anyway. That makes it croque monsieur without the egg. Add an egg on top, croque madame. I've never eaten a croque madame, and I don't think I ever will. I don't fancy it.
No. But anyway, sorry.
Anyway, maybe swiftly on. So yeah, once he did that, they've trialled it at a school, and the students were really positive about it. They said it's great. They said it's brilliant that you can, because you're there and you're actually dialoguing when you feel like you're in France, for instance, and you need to buy a loaf of bread. They said it's really good. And I think if they'd have had that when I was doing French at school, I would have probably absorbed a little bit more than I did, which was next to nothing. And the great thing about it is that a different array of languages they're going to bring this out in. They're going to do it for English, French, Japanese, Chinese, German, Spanish, Italian, Indonesian, and Greek.
Wow.
I think I would be interested in doing the Japanese version of it. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yes.
I'd love to do that. If only just so that I could get the edge on the next Shenmue or Persona. Something like that. But yeah, that would be really good. To pretend I was there, I don't know, arigato, and then order something. Or konnichiwa, actually. It's arigato is thank you, isn't it? So go into the place and, I don't know, buy a samurai sword as in a la Kill Bill. Something like that. That'd be pretty cool. So I just think, again, that's another great use of VR in education.
That's absolutely superb. Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. You know, it's kind of like when you go away on holiday and you are kind of like surrounded by people who, you know, when you go to another country, you try your best, don't you? So when you are kind of immersed or surrounded by kind of like you're in France or you're in Italy and you're surrounded by Italians, you do try. You know, I know when we went to Italy, you know, I was teaching myself before we went, and when we went there, I was really trying to do as much as I can, you know, just to try and speak a little bit of Italian. And I think you're absolutely spot on. I think that's such a fantastic use of VR, isn't it?
I think it's brilliant. I think the way that it could evolve in the future. Say we've got AR on tap, you know, with these glasses that we can just put on. Imagine this. So you're speaking, you're probably going to tell me that BMW have already done this or something, but you're speaking to the guy and he's talking to you in Italian, yeah?
Yeah.
And as he speaks, because you've got your AR glasses on, you get subtitles in your language.
Yes.
That'd be pretty cool. And there's no reason they couldn't do that. It'd just be like Google Translate.
But that's making you lazy, though, isn't it? But
elegant.
That's the elegant solution. But what you need then is like, you know, kind of like a Babelfish or the apps that you can get where you can then converse back to him. So you understand what he's just said to you, which was get out of my way, you silly person with glasses, and you want to say how rude, these are AR glasses, and it just tells you how to say that. And if there's a little earpiece, it then kind of speaks it into your ear. It'll
probably even break down the barriers though, because if he's got his AR glasses, you just speak in your native tongue and he'll get it in subtitles in his language.
It's like the universal translator on Star Trek.
The Babelfish from Hitchhiker's Guide from the Galaxy.
There you go.
Guide to the Galaxy. So and talking of translations, that brings me nicely, that's probably the first segue I've ever done, brings me nicely onto the next item, which is about Star Trek Bridge Crew, which, as you know, it's best when it's social. It's best when you've got 4 human characters. But you can play it in single player as well, with NPCs controlling the other guys. Well, Ubisoft always promised that there'd be voice commands coming to the game, and it looks like they've arrived. Though they've only arrived at the moment for an experimental beta period. I haven't checked this out yet, but it's probably worth us having a look. I'm going to dive into single player and see how well it works. I'm quite interested. Now they're using voice commands using IBM Watson integration, which is got quite a good reputation in this field.
Right.
And so that, from what I've read of in forums and things, people say that like that sets a standard, that, you know, sets the standard quite high for what they're expecting. So yeah, that's going to be available for an unknown amount of time. We haven't got a date on how long the experimental beta is going to last. So if you've got access to the game and you're interested, which I certainly am, it could be quite interesting. So, you know, Anthony, you won't have to put up with me faffing about, and you could say, make it so, hopefully, and the NPCs will do what you want.
Oh, that's good, because you and Stuart didn't listen to me. So is this on every platform?
As far as I know, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm firing it up again just to have a look at this. This is superb.
At first, I thought that it may just be HTC Vive or something like that. But I mean, the game was universally brought out for PSVR, wasn't it?
It is.
Every time Ubisoft showcased the game, they always did it on PSVR as well.
Right.
And in the tags on the story I'm reading from VR Focus here, they have got Vive, Oculus, and PSVR in the tags.
Wow.
So I'm hoping, I thought I'd mention it because I'm hoping it's there for PSVR guys as well. And even more than that, I'm hoping that it works. I was going to look at it today, but I just done my hair and I didn't want to put on if I put the headset, it was going to ruin it, so I couldn't. How ridiculous is that? Yeah. And it was all still wet and I didn't want to get gel all over the strap.
Oh my God. But you're right though, you get incredible VR hair. when you've been playing it, especially like the other
Especially
night.
if you've just done it, because it's just
Yeah.
going to like set it in that with a weird cross.
I know, it was really weird the other night when we were playing, because it was quite hot, wasn't it, as well, that evening, and so I was down in the movie room, I was getting quite hot, and when I kind of went to bed, Nicola just laughed at my head, because it was kind of like all dented at the top, but then it was just pushing the front up even more, and it just looked really weird. So
The technical term is VR bounce.
yes.
Oh dear, man.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'll fire up the PS4 version and have a look and see if there's an update.
Yeah, it should. And if it works, it means you could play. It's fine to swap anyway, because you can swap into any of the stations, but it'd make you feel more of a captain, wouldn't it? And that's the idea.
It really would, yeah.
Be really good. Be even better if you could give them your own names and then do it, but I think that's probably asking a bit much. Anyway, the final piece of VR news I've got for you. This is a bit of fun. This guy in New York has developed the first level, or maybe many levels, of the original Super Mario in AR on HoloLens.
Wow.
His name is Abhishek Singh. And yeah, he's recreated a life-size Super Mario level. And the good thing about this is not only did he create the level, but he also dressed up like Mario, played the level, and got his mate to film it while he was doing it. And he's published the film, so you can watch it on YouTube or whatever, or on the website. I'm looking at it actually from Upload VR, and it's great because you've got his point of view with all the AR, and you've got his friend also filming him to the side, so you can just see what it looks like without any AR. And it's pretty impressive actually. The way that he's done it. He said that he had to think quite a lot about how you'd come at the obstacles, because he's running towards this stuff, so he sees it in front of him. As we saw it side on when we played the original, he's seeing it as if all that's coming to him. So if there's a mushroom sliding along, we'd see it come from right to left, say, on the 2D version. He's seeing it come sliding up towards him. Now that's fine, and he's integrated little moves like if he jumps, he can if the mushroom runs into him, that will make him bigger. And the way that he's done that actually is quite clever. The scenery all shrinks to give you the impression that you've got bigger. If Goombas come up to you, which they do, you can jump, and the AR registers that you've squashed them, and you get a coin.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Let's stick a link to this in the show notes as well.
Yeah, it's really good. He jumps up. I think he's put the power-up cubes a bit too high because he really has to reach. But he touches the box. He jumps and smashes the boxes. Ding, ding, and he can get a power-up. But even I think one of the best touches is when he gets to like the jumps in the game. And when there's a jump, he looks down, and it's a chasm in front of him, and down at the bottom there's water.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's really impressive. Really, really worth a look. He said the levels, the final level was more than 110 metres long. He said when he'd worked it out into sort of real terms.
Yeah.
So I think this one that we've got a video of is the first level.
World 1, level 1.
Yeah, World 1. And it's funny because it's great because it's Mario. It's great because it's in. Don't think I mentioned it. It's great because he does it in New York Central Park.
Yes.
And it's fantastic because you see both the AR, which is good because you can understand what's going on, but you can also see his mate filming him to see what he looks like, just dodging around, and everybody else sort of dodging out of his way as they sort of go about their daily business. The thing is, the pipes aren't really there, so he can't jump on top of a pipe. So he just sidesteps around those, which is a bit of a shame. He should have put. He should have took over Central Park and put big pipes there so he could actually get the height. But yeah, it's really impressive, and I'm sure one day we'll find a use for it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, absolutely. I'm dying to click on that because the page that you put in the show notes, I've just clicked on that, and I'm dying to click on that YouTube clip, but I won't. I won't. Good. We're almost done. So I'll click on that after we've finished recording.
Cool. Well, and that is it for the VR desk this week.
Excellent stuff. Superb. What a great VR news desk. So that's about it for the episode as well. Huge thank you, as always, for listening. Don't forget, you can keep up with us at gamersoflostspark.com. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter. We're at Lost Spark Pod. You can find us on YouTube and also Gamers of Lost Spark, PS4 Community, and Xbox One Club. Daz, where can we find you online?
You can find me online as Wythermator on PS4, Xbox One and Twitch, Daz a Gamer on YouTube, and at Daz Whittam on Twitter.
Excellent stuff. For me, I am Chessman on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, PS-Chessman on the PlayStation Network, and Chessman UK on Twitter. If you have any feedback, please send it to our email address. That's feedback@gamerslotspark.com. Also, don't forget, you can rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on iTunes. So that's about it. I'm going to go and click on that link. See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.